Sempra's shady road to dominance in Mexico is the name of one segment of a three-part investigative report by Voice of San Diego. The in-depth story explains how wealthy businessman Jose Susumo Azano Matsura is linked to a 7-year battle with Sempra Energy. Details include heavily armed police, the Mexican army, and high-level officials in the U.S. and Mexico. Joining me with highlights from his investigative report is journalist Liam Dillon. And Liam, why is Sempra's natural gas plant near Ensenada in Mexico? Why is that a big deal?
Well, it was really the first foothold, or the first major foothold Sempra had in Mexico. And right now, Sempra is one of the largest private energy companies in Mexico. Sempra won a big battle with multiple other Fortune 500 companies to get that natural gas plant built. And so it's really kind of this foothold, the stake that Sempra put in Mexico that's leading to now its current ability to do big things in the country.
And is it being used very much today?
No, actually, there were a lot of changes in the natural gas market since the mid-2000s when it was built, fracking in the United States being one of them, and so it's not being used as much as they had thought, but again, it stands as a symbol, sort of a foothold for the company's ability to do well in Mexico.
Now, you wrote that a Mexican rancher enlisted Azano's help to help him fight Sempra because he said in court that, Sempra illegally took his land. Right. What was Azano's involvement in that case?
So the rancher signed a contract with Azano, which is sort of strange. Azano had no connection to Sempra or to this incident at all. This rancher claims that Sempra got a fake deed for this land that the rancher says he owns, and then the rancher didn't have the ability to fight Sempra legally, and so hooked up with Azano, a very wealthy guy who was able to finance the legal fight for this rancher in exchange for a big share of any winnings that might come.
And we're looking at a picture that shows the land and a big sign saying no trespassing and all that. Now, Azano's attorney and Sempra Energy declined our request for this interview, but moving forward, the FBI got involved in this case in a couple of ways. One being that this $7 million quid pro quo accusation against Sempra. What was that accusation and what came of that investigation? Right.
So again, this natural gas plant was a huge deal, a big competition between lots of other companies, lots of other big companies to get this done.
Worldwide.
Worldwide, yes,
sure.
Absolutely. As part of this, there was an allegation based on an internal memo, Sempra memo that the FBI got a hold of that is sort of alleged or indicated that there might have been a quid pro quo, that Sempra would give money to Ensenada causes, City of Ensenada causes. In exchange, they would get quicker permits for their natural gas plant. The FBI, again, they initially thought it was an issue investigated based on a Sempra self-investigation, which they relied on for their findings that this was not something that was an issue. So the case is ultimately closed.
And there was a hook in that which people can read in your report.
Right.
So in your report, you also say that Sempra supposedly got the FBI to go after Azano. How did that actually work out, and how do you think that led to Azano giving money to San Diego politicians?
Sure. So, as part of this fight with the rancher, Azano obviously had an interest in Sempra going down, and Sempra alleges, based on some documents they have, that Azano was behind a major raid, armed police raid on their natural gas plant in 2011, around the same time that Sempra was under investigation for the FBI. And so we have FBI documents that show while Sempra lawyers were in meetings with the FBI, they asked the FBI to go after Azano for this, alleged extortion attempt. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that led to sort of Azano feeling squeezed, you wrote.
Right. So there were lots of investigations into Azano in the past, but they were on hold by the time that Sempra got involved. And then once Sempra made the request to the FBI, all the investigations sped up again. Azano, felt that his private jet pilot was being harassed, his daughter or his young child was being patted down at the border. All these things that turned the heat up, and as a result, he went and our investigation found he went to go meet with San Diego politicians to try to turn the Fed's attention back to Sempra.
What is the status right now of Azano's case?
Right, so he's on facing charges of campaign finance violations. He's been about a year old, but the case is kind of very slow. They're still in hearings, and he's awaiting a trial. He's pleaded not guilty to the charges.
This is very, very interesting, and so many caveats that we didn't have a chance to go into. So I want to let people know they can read your entire report by following links on our website, kpbs.org. Voice of San Diego investigative reporter Liam Dillon, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.